Everything happens for a reason. Understanding cause and effect to live in peace. Have you ever wondered why your life has taken a certain path? Why are some people born into wealth while others struggle every day? Why do certain events seem unavoidable no matter how hard we try to escape them? The answer lies in a core principle of Buddhism: everything happens for a reason. Nothing occurs randomly. Everything is the result of cause, conditions, and karma. Cause and conditions. Nothing in life is random. Buddhism teaches that everything in life arises from cause and conditions. A seed cannot grow into a tree without soil, water, and sunlight. A person cannot achieve success without effort, a favorable environment, and supporting factors. Look back on your own life. What has contributed to your successes? Certainly, it is never just one factor. Perhaps it is your hard work, guidance from a mentor, or the right circumstances arranged by the universe. Conversely, failures and hardships are not merely the work of fate or someone else's doing, but rather the result of past causes and conditions. There is a story of a poor man who begged for food by the roadside. One day, he met an old monk and asked, "Why am I suffering like this while others live comfortably?" The monk smiled and replied, "Because your past causes have led to this result. But if you understand this, you can change your destiny." The monk then taught him to live virtuously, practice generosity, and work diligently. Years later, the man became prosperous and lived a peaceful life. He realized that poverty was not his fate but the result of his past actions. Karma. You reap what you sow. Cause and conditions are not just random connections but are also governed by karma. Karma is the sum of all our actions, thoughts, and words. When we do good, we receive good in return. When we do harm, consequences will come, maybe not immediately, but certainly in time. There is a famous story about a tyrannical king who killed many to secure his power. One day, he developed a strange illness, suffering unbearable pain that no doctor could cure. A wise monk visited him and said, "Your Majesty, this is the result of your past actions. But there is still a way to resolve it." The king, terrified, asked, "What must I do?" The monk replied, "Spend the rest of your life helping others and creating good karma." The king obeyed, began practicing generosity, building temples, and aiding the poor. Miraculously, his illness gradually eased, and he felt more at peace than ever before. This illustrates that even if we have created bad karma in the past, by repenting and making positive changes, we can still improve our lives. How to live in peace amid cause, conditions, and karma. Understanding that everything happens for a reason does not mean passively accepting fate. On the contrary, when we grasp the principles of cause, conditions, and karma, we learn how to actively shape our own destiny. Learn to accept and let go. When facing difficulties, instead of blaming fate or complaining, take a moment to reflect. What cause did I create to receive this result? If you can change it, find a way to correct it. If you cannot change it, learn to accept and let go. For example, if you lose your job, do not despair. See it as an opportunity to find a better path. If a relationship ends, do not cling to it. Perhaps it is the best outcome for both sides. Create good karma for a better future. Every day, we are sowing seeds for the future. If you want a peaceful life, sow good seeds through simple actions such as helping others selflessly, living honestly, without deceit or harm, cultivating gratitude and compassion, practicing meditation to maintain a calm mind. Small, consistent positive actions will eventually shape a better life. See life through the lens of wisdom. When we understand cause and conditions, we will no longer fear hardships or suffer excessively from life's challenges. We know that everything happens for a reason and has its meaning. Every difficulty is a lesson. Every failure is a stepping stone for growth. A Zen master once said, "When you change the way you look at the world also changes in the way you see it." Instead of resentment, view every event as an opportunity to learn and develop. Life is not always smooth. But when we understand the principle that everything happens for a reason, we will no longer feel lost. Every person and event in our lives appears for a reason. When we learn to accept, let go, and create good karma, we will find true peace. Remember, you are not a victim of fate. You are the creator of your own destiny. Everything changes. In life, there is one unchanging law that everyone must face: impermanence. Everything is in a state of flux. Nothing remains forever. Whether it is emotions, relationships, or life circumstances, all things move and evolve continuously. If we do not understand and accept this truth, we will easily fall into suffering. However, when we awaken to the nature of impermanence, life becomes lighter, and we can embrace changes with serenity. Impermanence, the nature of life. From the moment we are born, the world around us is constantly changing. Our bodies grow, cells age and die, the sun rises and sets, seasons shift, and rivers flow ceaselessly. Nothing is fixed. Impermanence is present in every moment, whether we recognize it or not. Have you ever wished to hold onto a moment of happiness but couldn't? Or feared when something bad happened, not knowing when it would end? That is impermanence. What comes will go, and what we try to cling to will eventually slip away. Emotions, relationships, and life circumstances are impermanent. Emotions, waves in the mind. Human emotions change moment by moment. Today, we may feel joy. Tomorrow, we may feel sorrow. A compliment can make us happy, while criticism can make us upset. If we cling to happiness, we will fear losing it. If we reject sadness, we will suffer trying to push it away. But if we understand that emotions come and go like clouds in the sky, we can learn to welcome them with equanimity. Relationships, meetings and partings. Life is a series of meetings and farewells. We meet people, form bonds, and love. But eventually, parting is inevitable. It may be due to circumstances, differences, or the final separation of death. If we do not accept this reality, we will be trapped in sorrow. But if we recognize that every connection has its time, we will cherish each moment together more deeply. Life circumstances, Nothing lasts forever. No one can guarantee that tomorrow will be the same as today. Jobs change. Wealth comes and goes. Health declines. If we cling to stability and resist change, we will always be anxious. But if we understand that all situations are temporary, we can learn to adapt and find happiness in any condition. Suffering arises from resisting change. Most suffering in life arises from our unwillingness to accept the truth that everything changes. We want to hold on to happiness and keep good things forever. But that is impossible. The more we resist change, the more exhausted we become. However, if we let go and accept, we will find peace in our hearts. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster the sand slips away. But if you keep your palm open, the sand remains there. Life is the same. The more we cling, the more we lose. The more we let go, the more at ease we feel. How to accept impermanence and live peacefully. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us live fully in the present, without being trapped in the past or worried about the future. When we are aware of what is happening, we see that change is not frightening. Each passing moment is precious because it is unique. Learn to let go. Letting go does not mean giving up everything. It means accepting that nothing belongs to us forever. When we reduce our attachment to material things, emotions, or people, we feel lighter. Live fully, love wholeheartedly, but do not let your heart be bound. Be grateful for what you have. When we appreciate the present, we no longer regret the past or worry about the future. Be grateful for what you have: a new day, a delicious meal, a loved one's smile. These small things are the true miracles of life. Accept what comes and goes. Life is like a river, always flowing. When we understand that nothing stays still, we stop expecting things to remain the same. Let everything unfold naturally, like flowers blooming and withering, like rain falling and stopping. When we embrace change, we find peace within ourselves. A story of impermanence, a lesson from a Zen master. A renowned Zen master had a favorite cup. He used it every day for tea. One day, a disciple asked, "Master, aren't you afraid that one day your cup will break?" The Zen master smiled and replied, "Every time I hold this cup, I have already seen it broken. That's why, when it is still whole, I cherish it, and when it breaks, I do not grieve." This simple story carries a profound truth. If we understand that everything will change, we will appreciate what we have and not suffer when it is gone. Live with the spirit of impermanence. Impermanence is not something to fear. It is a truth that sets us free. When we understand that everything changes, we learn to appreciate the present, let go of the past, and welcome the future with an open heart. Live like water, soft, adaptable, and accepting of all changes. When we no longer resist impermanence, we will find serenity in every moment of life. Cause and effect, the mysterious law of life. In the endless flow of the universe, every action, thought, and word we express plants a seed in the soil of cause and effect. These seeds, over time, will be nurtured by favorable or unfavorable conditions, yielding sweet fruits or bitter outcomes. The law of cause and effect never errs. It is only a matter of time before it unfolds. Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. The ripples spread outward, gently or fiercely, depending on the force behind the action. Life operates the same way. Every good thought plants a seed of virtue, and every kind deed marks the path of cause and effect, helping us harvest peace and happiness. The story of the farmer and the horse. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a poor farmer. One day, his only horse ran away. His neighbors came to console him, saying, "What a tragedy." The farmer calmly replied, "Good or bad, who can say?" A few days later, the horse returned, bringing with it a herd of wild horses. The neighbors rejoiced. "How wonderful!" The farmer, still composed, said, "Good or bad, who can say?" His son attempted to tame the wild horses but unfortunately fell and broke his leg. The neighbors sympathized. "What a misfortune!" The farmer smiled and said, "Good or bad, who can say?" Soon after, a war broke out, and all young men in the village were conscripted into the army. However, the farmer's son was spared due to his injury, while others grieved their losses. The farmer remained tranquil, as if he had already understood the workings of the universe. Lessons from cause and effect. Life is not always black or white. Our limited perception often misjudges events. Cause and effect do not always manifest immediately, but they are always at work. Even the smallest action can alter the course of our lives. Sow seeds of kindness, let go of rigid judgments, and accept every event with an open heart. When we understand the law of cause and effect, we will live with serenity and wisdom, unaffected by the ever-changing tides of life. Letting go, reducing suffering. Humans naturally seek happiness, yet often, what we believe will bring us joy actually becomes the cause of our suffering. We cling to material possessions, people, and emotions, hoping they will bring peace. But when these things change or disappear, we fall into despair and distress. Attachment is the chain that binds our souls, making us weary on our journey to find true peace. Letting go does not mean giving up everything. It means learning to love without attachment, appreciating without clinging, and attaining true inner freedom. Attachment, the root of suffering. Attachment takes many forms. Attachment to material things, attachment to people, attachment to emotions, and attachment to fame. Each type of attachment creates anxiety and unsettles the mind. Clinging to material possessions. Many believe that accumulating wealth, houses, and cars will bring happiness. However, material possessions are only tools, not the key to peace. When we cling to them, we constantly worry about loss, competition, and comparison. Moreover, possessions are impermanent, and if we base our happiness on transient things, we will never find lasting peace. Clinging to people. We often seek love and attention from others to fill the emptiness in our hearts. But relationships are not unchanging. If we depend too much on someone, we live in fear and anxiety when they change or leave. True love is not about possession but about freedom. When we learn to love without attachment, We no longer suffer from the changes of others. Clinging to emotions. Emotions come and go like clouds in the sky. If we cling to positive emotions such as joy, we will be disappointed when they fade. If we resist negative emotions like sadness, we unintentionally increase our inner turmoil. Only when we learn to observe and accept emotions without attachment can we achieve inner balance. The art of letting go. Loving without attachment. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything but rather changing how we perceive and connect with them. It allows us to love genuinely without expectations, making happiness our choice rather than a dependency. Embracing impermanence. Everything in life changes. People come and go. Material things appear and disappear. Emotions rise and fall. When we understand impermanence, we no longer suffer from change. We cherish each moment fully without fear. Living in the present. Most of our suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. When we live fully in the present, we can enjoy happiness without attachment. Letting go is an art that reduces suffering and brings true inner freedom. It is not about losing but about rediscovering oneself. Acceptance. The path to inner peace. Acceptance of reality is not surrender. In life, everyone experiences difficulties, losses, and disappointments. When facing adversity, many people instinctively resist or try to control everything according to their desires. However, the more we cling, the more we try to change the unchangeable, the deeper we sink into suffering. Acceptance of reality does not mean giving up or passively submitting to fate. It is not about surrendering or losing the will to move forward. On the contrary, acceptance requires courage to face the truth, to recognize things as they are without being driven by expectations or fears. When we truly accept, our minds become lighter, allowing us to make wise decisions rather than reacting in desperation. Imagine walking on a rocky path. If you keep complaining that the road is uneven and wishing for a smoother path, you will only feel more frustrated and exhausted. But if you accept that the rocky road is an unchangeable reality, you will learn to step carefully, to adapt without injury. That is the power of acceptance. Meditation, a tool for training the mind. Acceptance is not just a mindset. It is a skill that can be cultivated. One of the most effective ways to train acceptance is through meditation. Meditation helps us develop inner awareness, reduces overreaction to external events, and gradually leads us to a state of peace and equanimity. When meditating, we focus on our breath, observing thoughts as they come and go without getting caught up in them. Over time, we realize that negative thoughts or emotions do not define us, they are merely passing phenomena, like clouds drifting across the sky. By training the mind in this way, we can maintain our composure even in the face of adversity. Meditation not only brings peace of mind but also transforms how we perceive life. With regular practice, you will notice that stress and pressures that once troubled you lose their grip. Things beyond your control, instead of becoming burdens, become opportunities to practice acceptance. Applying acceptance in daily life. Acceptance is not just a theory, It is a practical way of living that can be applied in all aspects of life. In relationships, no one is perfect. Everyone has weaknesses and makes mistakes. When we accept others as they are, we reduce expectations and disappointments, fostering more harmonious relationships. In work, instead of being frustrated with what cannot be changed, focus on what you can control. Acceptance of challenges does not mean giving up but finding ways to adapt and grow from them. In daily life, sometimes things do not go as planned: bad weather, traffic jams, cancelled plans. If we let frustration take over, we only make ourselves suffer. But with acceptance, we find more graceful ways to respond. Life is full of unpredictability, but how we face it determines our inner peace. Acceptance does not mean giving up effort but letting go of futile resistance. When we understand this, we will find serenity even in life's uncertainties. Living mindfully, appreciating the present. In today's fast-paced world, people are often caught up in worries, pressures, and expectations. We tend to dwell on the past with regret or race toward the future with countless anxieties. This habit makes us miss the precious moments right in front of us. However, mindfulness, an ancient Buddhist practice, can help us live fully in each moment. Appreciate the present, and find peace within ourselves. Mindfulness, the gateway to awakening. Mindfulness is not just a meditation technique, it is a way of life. It helps us become fully aware of our actions, thoughts, and emotions without judgment or overreaction. When practicing mindfulness, we do not let our minds be drawn into the past or rush into the future. Instead, we focus entirely on the present moment. Many scientific studies have shown that mindfulness can reduce stress, improve mental health, and enhance quality of life. Those who practice mindfulness regularly tend to be happier, less prone to depression, and live a more fulfilling life. Why is it hard to fully live in the present? One of the main reasons we struggle to live in the present is that the human mind constantly generates thoughts. We are easily caught up in memories of the past or projections about the future, which creates anxiety, regret, and unease. Modern society, with its fast pace, also contributes to our restless minds. Technology and social media constantly distract us, leaving little time to connect with ourselves and experience life as it unfolds. Practicing mindfulness to live awakening. To cultivate awareness, we need to practice mindfulness daily. Here are some effective methods to help you embrace mindfulness and appreciate the present. Breathing meditation, returning to yourself. Breathing meditation is one of the simplest yet most effective ways to bring ourselves back to the present moment. Simply sit still, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Observe each inhalation and exhalation naturally. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Practicing breathing meditation daily improves concentration, reduces stress, and brings inner peace. Just a few minutes a day can make a significant difference in how you think and experience life. Mindful eating. Transforming meals into meditation. We often eat unconsciously, watching our phones, talking, or thinking about work while eating. This prevents us from truly enjoying our food and recognizing when our body is full. Mindful eating means fully focusing on your meal. Savor the aroma, colors, and flavors of each bite. Chew slowly, taste every morsel, and observe the changes in each moment. When we eat mindfully, we not only enjoy our meals more but also improve digestion and overall health. Spending time in nature. Nature is a magical remedy that helps us reconnect with the present. Take time to walk in the park. Observe the trees, listen to the birds, or simply feel the cool breeze on your skin. These moments bring stillness to the mind and reveal the beauty of life in the simplest things. Acceptance and letting go. A crucial part of mindfulness is accepting reality as it is. We often suffer because we resist what is happening or expect everything to go our way. However, life is impermanent, and we cannot control everything. Instead of resisting or judging what unfolds, practice accepting it with ease. When you let go of expectations and embrace the present, your mind will find greater peace. The benefits of living mindfully and appreciating the present. Reduced stress and anxiety. When we focus on the present, we no longer get caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. A deeper enjoyment of life. By being fully aware of each moment, we find joy in the simplest things. Improved physical and mental health. Studies show that mindfulness practice lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease, depression, and other mental disorders. Better relationships. When we listen to others with full attention and without judgment, our relationships become more harmonious. Living mindfully is not an unattainable state. It is something we can practice daily. When we embrace mindfulness, we not only find inner peace, but also learn to cherish every moment of life. Start with simple acts, a deep breath, a mindful meal, a walk without distractions, to experience the magic of the present. When you truly live in this moment, you will realize that happiness is not far away, it is right within your reach. Transforming the mind towards enlightenment. In life, people often seek happiness from external factors such as wealth, fame, love, or social recognition. However, if we rely solely on these elements, happiness becomes fragile and easily disappears when circumstances change. In reality, true happiness does not depend on external conditions but originates from our own consciousness. It is the way we perceive and respond to life that determines our inner peace and genuine joy. The power of perception in creating happiness. Life is full of fluctuations and challenges. At times, we face difficulties, losses, and suffering. But the key is not what happens to us. Rather, it is how we embrace these events. A person with a peaceful mind can confront adversity without being overwhelmed by suffering. On the other hand, someone who lets their mind be swayed by external conditions will feel restless and troubled. Even in favorable circumstances. For instance, two individuals experience failure in their careers. One perceives it as a catastrophe, feeling despair and blaming fate. The other sees it as an opportunity to learn, improve, and seek a new path. Thus, The way we interpret events determines our psychological state. The difference does not lie in the events themselves but in how each individual perceives and responds to them. Turning suffering into an opportunity for growth. No one can avoid suffering in life. However, if we use wisdom to view it correctly, we will realize that suffering carries invaluable lessons. Each time we face adversity, we have an opportunity to cultivate patience, compassion, and wisdom. For example, a person who loses a loved one may fall into despair and drown in grief. But from another perspective, they may come to understand that impermanence is an inevitable aspect of life. Such loss teaches them to cherish the present, live meaningfully, and love those around them even more. In Buddhist teachings, the Buddha emphasized that suffering is an unavoidable part of life. However, the crucial point is that suffering can be transformed into understanding and enlightenment. When one realizes that all things are impermanent, they no longer cling to what is lost or worry excessively about the future. Instead, they learn to live fully and mindfully in the present moment, practicing the transformation of the mind. Changing our mindset is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is a long journey that requires consistent practice. Some methods that can help in transforming our consciousness include meditation. This practice calms the mind, reduces negative thoughts, and develops clarity. When our mind settles, we can see things more clearly and respond to life with wisdom rather than impulsive emotions. Mindfulness. Living with mindfulness means being fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions in each moment. With mindfulness, we are less likely to be dominated by negative emotions and can instead choose wiser responses. Contemplation of impermanence. Understanding that everything in life is transient helps us loosen our attachments to external things and accept change with greater ease. Cultivating compassion. Learning to love and be compassionate toward others reduces resentment, envy, and hatred. This helps our consciousness become lighter and more peaceful. Towards enlightenment. Transforming our consciousness not only brings happiness in this life, but also leads us toward enlightenment. Enlightenment is not a supernatural state or something beyond reach. Rather, it is a profound understanding of life's nature and the attainment of a mind that is free from craving, anger, and delusion. When a person attains enlightenment, they are no longer disturbed by external circumstances. They no longer seek happiness from impermanent things. Instead, they find true joy in their own awareness and mindfulness. This is the highest state of peace that anyone can achieve through diligent practice of the mind. Happiness does not come from external circumstances but from how we perceive and react to life. When we learn to adjust our mindset, we can transform suffering into opportunities for growth. Through meditation, mindfulness, contemplation of impermanence, and the cultivation of compassion, we can gradually transform our consciousness, moving toward true enlightenment and inner peace.